There's an old saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and recently there's an opposing one that points out that it also takes a village to raise a mother. Both are true, but what we at Maia House believe is the more important question that every parent should be asking themselves is, who do I want in my village? Our work involves educating and supporting families through pregnancy, birth and postpartum. And we have also built a network of some of the most trusted specialists in Singapore who have the same goal. Like today, you'll meet a few of them and hear what it's like when your village works in harmony. So maybe like an icebreaker we can do is just, what's one word that you would use to describe your personal approach to care or to philosophy? So I can start first. So mine is collaborative. Actually more than that, it's teamwork. So I've been a doula for 4.5 years. And I've experienced what it's like to doula alone. I experienced what it's like to doula in a team, and I much prefer working in a team, right? And it's not only that, it's also for me, like being a doula is recognizing when when my knowledge, my expertise stops and when I have to refer to other people, and that's a lot of what I do. I'm very happy to refer my clients to others who I feel who will be more helpful. And the best part is when those people can feed back to me as well, and then that helps me with my job. And it's just like an active network, like live highway of communication that just makes it like not just a great experience for the client, but a much more enjoyable experience for me. But yeah, Dewi?
Oh, come on, Arrow. So my word, embody, and I think because not just in my personal life but in the work that I do, chief is the service to the body. That's one, and I also see that like as a philosophy, such a useful one, simply because we live so far apart from our own internal experiences. Sometimes birth is one of them. Especially when it's so medicalized and pathologized. So embodiment and being embodied is, for me, something that transcends beyond the personal into my professional life.
Well, mine is aligned. And I am speaking from my own experience giving birth with Jem. And what I really learned from it was I need to know what I want out of it. And I need to be able to find somebody to support me who aligns with my care philosophy. And I think that I've learned so much that I brought it out into my work as a therapist as well. You know, I tell my clients in the first session that, you know, I may be a very experienced therapist, but I may not be the one for you. And so exploring with them, right, what their care philosophy is. And I think that's something that I really learned from you, Jem. You know, that it's not about you telling me what philosophy I should be taking, but you gave me the options and then you let me think for myself, and that has really helped.
Mine's nourishment. Whenever I say I'm a dietitian, I always feel the need to like caveat that with like, I'm not like, people get scared. Like people get scared, they're like, oh, you don't want to see what I eat, or like, you don't want to know about what I had for dinner last night. And people just think that it's full of judgment, and it's like, you can't. It
sounds a bit like my profession as well, right? Like, I know what I don't want you to be thinking. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm thinking.
And I think it's and even a lot of my clients, I guess they come for an appointment, they have this expectation of like, I'll tell you, no, you can't eat this, you can't eat that, cut this out, cut that out. But I think a lot of us need to focus a lot more on actually feeding ourselves what we need. I think traditional diet culture is a lot about cutting things out, but that's not the area I practice in. And to be honest, I feel like when we focus on eating enough of the right things, naturally things find a new sense of balance. And yeah, so that's my word. But beyond food as well, it's also about keeping your cup full, and I think we show up best for everyone else around us when we have full cups. So yeah, nourishment for mind, body, and tummy as well.
Yeah, I guess philosophy that I adopt is connection, helping women to connect to their bodies, connect to that evidence-based knowledge to help make them make informed decisions around their birth goals and choices, and then that connection to the community, this village that we're trying to cultivate and, you know, share with others by leaning on each other's expertise and recognizing that we all have our strengths and weaknesses and our interests, that, you know, we can't all just be that one-stop shop providing all that care, and that we need to lean on each other to be able to provide that I guess that ideal outcome for our clients, and I could rant on about ideal outcomes because sometimes you might have perfect preparation, but
And also as a physiotherapist, outcomes are
yeah. And yes, I know we're very goal orientated and focused, and we have our criterions and stuff like that. But I do also underpin it with my favorite phase. Am I allowed to swear? Shit happens. I mean, you can be prepared as best as you can be, but sometimes the universe, the baby, the birthing mum has other ideas, and you know, to be able to adequately go, okay, you've done the best you can. Now let the universe do its job, and not get too caught up in the how you birth, which is what we're seeing as well in our clients. So yeah, connection.
Yeah.
I don't know, I wonder whether this cuts across all of our different professional lives, but one of the things I wish clients, whether I see them in the physio clinic or whether I see them on my massage table or as a doula client or yoga student, I wish that they could spend more time dismantling birth hierarchies. Birth hierarchies is basically a hierarchy of birth experiences that have been, I guess, created by all of us in this space, whether you're a birth worker, parent, or a doctor, etc., right? There is the best possible birth experience and the worst possible birth experience, right? And oftentimes when you are a doula, you naturally kind of want to say, yeah, no, this is what we can lean you towards. And I find that to be, honestly, it's quite a failing on our part as birth workers. We should never ever say, oh yeah, research has shown that epidural, blah, blah, blah. And then we tell them, and we kind of like forget that we are actually speaking to a person who might have fears of round pain, for instance, right? It's also like after you've done the dismantling, then you need to replace it with something, and that is you need to trust yourself. After you've done trusting yourself, which is never done.
Also trusting the process?
Trusting the process, yeah. However you need to trust, and then subsequently be comfortable with not knowing. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, It's hard. It's hard for us to accept that birth is mysterious, that parenting will never have direct answers. It's I keep speaking to that linearity because we just expect an outcome based on some inputs. And I mean, I think all of us suffer from this.
Yeah, maybe something that we can all share is just like, what is one thing, I'm sure we all have many things that you wish that client, like something that's not obvious piece of knowledge that you think like your client should know or should do during pregnancy in preparation for like birth or postpartum.
I'm going to be cliched.
See a public health.
Exactly. Because like everyone thinks that the role of a pelvic health or a women's health physio is to support women in that postpartum period. So where we're trying to shift that dialogue is, let's talk about preventative health care, right? Let's get you in, if you're lucky enough preconception, to know where your body's at. And what I mean by body, it's not just your pelvic health, it's your whole body strength and conditioning, because pregnancy is a load at the end of the day, and we want to be exercising well and moving well. We often see women who use pregnancy as that impetus to start exercising. Like, it's perhaps not exactly the right time to try something new, but hats off to you for trying and shifting that needle for yourself. Let's work together. Going to a F45 or a HIIT class straight up, if you've never moved, is perhaps not the wisest of choices. But I can see what you're trying to do there. So yeah, getting women in preconception, just to know where their body's at, including their pelvic health and their whole body health and mobility, is something that we're trying to promote.
I think it's the long game. I think it's about, and I think when you start to appreciate it all fits together, and it does, then that effort seems more worthwhile. It doesn't have to be perfection. I think people see them as very separate moments, like, pregnancy or preconception, pregnancy, postpartum, baby starting solids. People see it as very separate things, but really that, first 1,000 days from preconception to the second birthday, nutrition is actually quite aligned. And even what nutrients baby and mom needs at about the same time of starting solids is aligned as well. But again, there's no shortcut. I think it's about doing that little, it's not about perfection, it's about doing that 5%. If you're cooking 0 meals at home, can you cook 1 meal?
So do you say this to all your clients? I think it's so important, more than because I went to a dietitian as well.
Yeah.
Because of my GD, and she was very helpful, telling me, okay, how should I be having my meals? But I would think that having this pep talk.
Yeah. But not all clients want to hear that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and even I think it's reached a point from my practice at least that I do, if in a client's history or pre-intake form that it seems that what they want is like a 4-week thing, I do jump on a call and say, look, I don't know if it's the right fit. This is what I can offer you, and do you think we're the right fit? And I think it works for some people. I don't think it works for most people, but I think that long-term game is important. And we're looking at long-term health, right? Like things like heart disease, it doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to fix it in a 12-week diet. Your diet over 20, 30 years is what measures.
We talk about preparing your body, right? I would say preparing the relationship. It's very easy for us when the woman gets pregnant, we focus a lot on perhaps the physical aspect, the very tangible, what should you be doing, what are the changes you want to do to your house, right? How do you want to give birth? But then the emotional relationship between you and your husband, it's gonna change, right?
There's a stigma around therapy. I feel like there's an even greater stigma for like men to get therapy, and it's so difficult because sometimes and I see this in postpartum as well. It's just like they feel like I need to step up. I need to hold everything together, and like from an outsider's perspective, I'm like, I can also see that you're starting to collapse, and it's really difficult. And like I don't know, like Meg, how do you how would you communicate or try to convince someone like a man to come to therapy?
Well, it depends on whether I get to talk to that person first, right? I mean, if the wife is the one recommending the husband to come, I would say no, I won't see him unless he wants to come. But I have to say, in the last 2-3 years, I've been seeing a lot more men coming in, and it's really, those are tender moments when you start to see that these men reveal their emotions and their vulnerabilities, and it's actually the women who are more hard-hearted.
Yeah, interesting.
I feel like there is a wave of like men, not just fathers, but men who are like who want to do better, not just for their partners but also for themselves. That's been so nice, and like I think that's also something that is an honor for me to witness as a doula, for us to witness as doulas, is when we see how partners step up during labor and birth. It's so beautiful.
I might be wrong there, but I think the research around doulas, one of the biggest, statistical differences is actually how fathers feel more supported. I think when there's a doula present, the impact on the father is actually one of the greatest across all measures. And I think, when someone is birthing, it's actually really difficult for fathers as well. I think that their feeling of helplessness, I think having someone there to support them is also really important. And also knowing that it's not all on them. Like if they have to go pee, like their partner's not going to be left completely alone. Just even really simple things like that, I think can make a massive difference to fathers as well.
I remember the very day we went back. I stayed at the birth house for 2 nights. I know that to have a doula is there, to support me when I'm birthing, but I really didn't know that I could call on a doula, like in 24 hours she will come. But so I went home, and then my confinement nanny came. And now, so I have to say I did a lot of prep work for my birth, but I went with the whole, because my sister-in-law, my friends had a confinement nanny, so I had a confinement nanny. Fortunately, my confinement nanny really looked after me, but she still had these certain ideas, like I shouldn't be showering, and mind you, I gave birth in May, it was hot. I shouldn't be showering, and then she asked me a lot of questions about how I want certain things, and I appreciated that, but I did not think about it. Imagine, I just came home after 2 days, I had this baby, and she asked me all these things I could not answer her. There was a lot of anxiety there that I realized, I didn't think about how I want to go through my 4th trimester. And then, because there was a lot of talk about skin to skin, right? So I said, well, I've had her with me for 9 months, I want to sleep with her. But a normal confinement nanny would say, no, you have to rest as a mom. and let the baby sleep with me. And that was really difficult. I mean, I argued a little bit with her, right? And she actually thought that I was a bit nuts. Like she actually said to me, so why are you hiring me? Like I'm on vacation. It feels like I'm on vacation here. And so there was a lot of guilt and a lot of perhaps shame and just me thinking like, nobody taught me to think about my 4th trimester. Like I really wish, and even until today, I'm still thinking about how do I want to, what options do I have?
Something that I realized as a postpartum doula, I have to now do. I have to manage a confinement nanny sometimes because they're so afraid to tell the confinement nanny like babies should not be swaddled too much, right? So then I have to step in and say, oh, by the way, like, you know, there's a rash, we're not going to swaddle, you know, and then the confinement nanny sees us as professionals too, and they listen to us. But when the parents tell them, they're like, no, this is better, you know, and then...
I think build your birth village to come home. So I feel like a lot of people, like a lot of clients, when they go through labor and birth and they come out of it, it feels like everything is so new, everything is so scary, and it feels like a lot of times I think I've had so many clients when they literally go home, like from the hospital, from a birth house or whatever, they don't feel like it's home because everything is different. Like the first night home is always so scary and like it's so anxiety wrecking, and like a lot of, and also it's just even the experience of going through like a postpartum mood disorder or just going through the first few weeks of newbornhood. It feels a lot of just like, I think like you just feel like you're in a strange place with people, like with like people you don't really recognize sometimes. And so like building a birth village helps you come home to yourself. It won't be immediate, but like we help you feel like, you know, feeling empowered to come, like feeling empowered, feeling like not doing it alone helps you eventually like come home to yourself. Yeah. Actually, when I think of building a village, I never think of the baby.
But I think that's what inherently my clients think of it as at the end of the day, if I'm pretty honest. It's all baby-led, those decisions. They're going to prioritize that appointments that are pertaining to the health and well-being of their kid, not themselves.
Yeah.